Good morning from West Memphis, Arkansas, December 1st, 2024. Here I am at the Flying J in West Memphis, charging at this new charger. And plug and charge work, just plugged up, no swapping of the credit card or anything. Getting 40 kilowatts, 61%. December 2nd, 2024, good morning. Yesterday we went to the Flying J. Here's what I said about it. The Flying J in West Memphis, Arkansas. These chargers have only been online a couple of weeks. Charged successfully. Plug and charge worked great. I simply plugged up, and after a good 45-second to 1-minute handshake, it seemed to take a while, it started charging with no swipe of the credit card or app engagement. The place was clean and orderly, but the road leading in needs work. Be careful. You could actually damage your car if not paying attention. Of course, you should always be paying attention when driving, but I drive, so I know a lot of people don't. Yes, the service road leading to Flying J is that bad in a couple of areas. I want to show you here on Google Maps. Google Map, look at this. This is where you come in if you're coming off one of the interstates. The other interstate, you'd come in the other direction. This is right in the middle where two interstates split off, 55 and 40, right before you go into Memphis. Two different bridges, the old bridge and the new bridge. Now, the new bridge has been there since probably 1980, but it's still called the new bridge. Yeah, I know, it's weird. And the old bridge is about to be replaced with a new bridge. So then we'll have the new bridge and the old new bridge. Okay. But anyway, when you come in, you turn here, see this right here? Oh my gosh, it looks much worse. It is horrible. Right here on the service road off of Martin Luther King Boulevard on the service loop right there. And then you look over here leaving. This is a whole lot worse. This is horrible. I mean, it seems like it's up here a little bit pretty bad too. But once you get past about where that car is, it's not bad at all. But you have to be careful here. And I can tell by looking at these dates, they do fix it from time to time. Matter of fact, this is kind of weird. Look at this. I just skipped forward a little bit. Look at that. Yay, new date. Now, this is August 2023. See, so I'm guarantee it's a never-ending battle. But, you know, my cousin said, well, you know, they got to deal with all these trucks going in and out. That's heavy. You know, and I said, okay, then how come you don't see this at every truck stop? You know, I don't know. I don't know enough about road construction to know. But I did watch a video on the Autobahn the other day. And they said Germany, maybe all of Europe, but Germany, they build their roads out of concrete. It costs a whole lot more to build it, but it's so much cheaper to maintain. So if that's true, why don't we do that? Does anybody know the truth about concrete roads? Kind of off subject, but I just wanted you to know. Anyway, you go down here, and it's down here on the right, and this road is not bad once you get past that one horrible, bad area. And so anyway, I'm not going to take you on the road trip all the way there. Okay, let's look at this. There I am charging with my Niro, and I discovered something. I really need something with 300 true miles going down the highway. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is very nice. Had a canopy, and the plug and charge worked great. It was awesome. My son plugged up. We were taking him to the airport in Memphis. He plugged up, and him and my wife went to use the restroom while I sat there and made sure it started charging, and it did. And then when they got back, I went. That's why the video you just saw was very short, because we needed to get to the airport. I didn't have time to do a full review of this place. We had to go, and we only stayed here 8 minutes actually, and we should have stayed 15. More about that in a minute. That's probably 10 feet from the charging station, so I started walking inside and thought, I should have took a picture, but it was cold and didn't want to go back. But the charging stations are about 10 foot behind where the camera is pointing. And there's for the gas people. And I didn't take many pictures inside because I was afraid they'd say, hey, stop doing that. But I did take a couple. It's just your standard Flying J. I don't think they have a restaurant. I forgot to look. I don't think they did. And I was only getting 34 kilowatts. I think at 63%. The battery was warm. We just drove 60-something miles. The battery was warm. So I'm kind of surprised it's only 34 kilowatts. But I know the Niro does not charge that fast, but I was thinking I should have gotten at 63%, at least 50 kilowatts. Maybe even 75, the max. I'm not sure where it cuts off. I'm thinking I should have got about 50. I wound up only getting 4.8, I think it was, kilowatts. We only stayed 8 minutes. And yeah, we had about 65% when we left. And that's when we got home. 3% battery. First off, I used Apple. Look at all that dust. I ought to be ashamed. I'm not, but I should be. Actually, I'm a little bit. Let's look at this. Okay, when we got home, 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. That's what I got in the Niro, driving 78 a whole lot of the way with it in the low 30s and the heat so we'd be comfortable, 72 and 74 degrees. Right about time I was pulling onto my street, the little turtle icon came on. And it got so low that on the other side here, let me see if I got a picture of it. Yes. We got the 3 dashes there. Instead of, about 10 miles left is when that happened. But I kept watching on the way back. We had over a 50-mile buffer when we left the airport. Over 50 miles. And it was only 97 or 98 miles to the house. And that's another thing. We used Apple Maps to get us there. They took us over the old bridge. Soon to be the new bridge when it gets replaced. Took us over the old bridge to the airport. But then I used the onboard navigation to bring us home. And they routed us over the new bridge. Soon to be the old new bridge. And it was an extra 15 miles. And I thought, well, maybe they're guiding us around construction because there is a lot of construction on the old bridge. And so anyway, the 15 miles, but we had 160 miles, 150 something miles on the guessometer, and it was only 99 miles to the house. I thought we'd be fine. And I kept watching it, kept watching it drop and drop and drop and drop. And finally, about 10 miles from the house, I shut the heater off. And then I decided to go through town, through Jonesboro, rather than the bypass, because only showed 3 or 4% battery. When I got home, it said 4%. If I'd been that worried, there was a place I could have charged level 3 chargers about 4 miles from the house. But I never was really worried about running out. But boy, it got close. And after I passed those chargers up, about halfway between the chargers and my house, about 2 miles from the chargers, about 2 miles from the house, I was thinking, man, maybe I should have stopped at those. Maybe I should have. But we made it home. But it made me think, okay, this I think has a 66 kilowatt hour battery. I think it's 66. We're going to say 64, a little bit of degradation and all. And you don't want to be sitting on the side of the road. So from charger to charger, 166 miles at interstate speeds, going 75, 78, a whole lot. It said I averaged 58 or 59 miles an hour, but about 10% of that was stop and go traffic. I promise you, a lot of times I was going 75, 78, 72. 166 miles. Geez, that's fine for around here, but my gosh. Well, on the way back too, we were also in a headwind of about 10 miles an hour. And I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't think 10 miles an hour would matter that much. Might have been 8 miles an hour. I don't know, but anyway. It was quite a trip. So, we're back to the question, what do I do? Because I could afford a Model 3, but with my wheelchair, a Model 3 is a problem getting it in the trunk. I cannot afford any electric car that will truly get you 300 miles. And I guess it wouldn't have to be 300 on the interstate, but on the interstate it really needs to be an absolute minimum of 200 miles in the winter. This is really what I need. And there's no car out there I can afford that will do that. So I really do not want to go to a plug-in hybrid because I don't want to deal with oil changes. I don't want to deal with gas. I don't want to deal with all of that. But then again, if I need to take somebody to the airport and it's 28, 30 degrees outside, now I could have solved this by staying here 15 minutes instead of 10, instead of 8. I could have solved it. So that's an easy solution, you would think. However, let's look at Google Maps. There's nothing else. There's nowhere to charge between here and home until we get 4 miles from the house. So if we charged on the way to the airport, just in case these didn't work. If I charged on the way back by then they didn't work and didn't have enough juice to get home, I would have had to go right back into Memphis and charge at one of these places, which we wouldn't want to do. The charging infrastructure in Arkansas is still very iffy, and it can still be a problem. So I don't know. But if you go to the Flying J, it's a nice place. It's clean. The bathroom was clean. The chargers were great. They worked great. Just don't damage your car getting on that service road and getting off of it. But what do you think? What do I need? Do I need to just not worry about it and keep driving? Because I do like my car. Man, the Niro is a very nice car. That's a very nice car. And I don't know. They have a version with a heat pump. Someone I know that knows a lot about electric cars, he said, I don't think the heat pump would make a whole lot of difference. What do you think? Do you think the heat pump in this car would make a big difference on a trip like this? It was 32, 34 degrees most of the way. Do you think a heat pump would have mattered? I don't know. Okay, so what should I buy? What should I buy that I can get for absolute most $25,000 after the tax credit? There would be no tax credit of $25,000. But I really need to keep under $25,000 before the tax credit so I can get that $4,000. But absolute most I can spend is $25,000. Is there any electric car out there for that? Should I buy a plug-in hybrid? I'm thinking about a Ford Escape plug-in hybrid. It gets about 34, 35, 36 miles of pure electric in summer, and then 40 miles to the gallon. And and there's also the minivan, the one that Chrysler makes. But I don't know about that. What do y'all think? All right, that's all. I'm gonna quit bloviating. There's another YouTuber out there that says bloviate. Jim EV Jim. That's not his name. Jim's EV Adventures right here. Yeah. Yeah, he uses the word bloviate. I thought I was the only one on here that did. I wonder if he uses the word urchin. When I'm referring to the kids at school, I call them urchins. And I've called them, to the classroom before. I say, okay, urchins, listen up. What's an urchin? It's one of those things that live in the sea. I said, nah, there's a couple definitions to urchin. One is a mischievous young child. But I wonder if he uses that word too. All right. Or barbermonger. When I was younger, I was a barbermonger, trying to impress the ladies. No more. All right. You have a good day. Bye.